We all want to get better. We all want to reach our goals, be better with our art and our businesses. But when things get uncomfortable, we find ourselves declaring this is an impossible task and we bail. And then we question ourselves, why am I not achieving the same level of success as other people?
Hey there! I'm Maida Leon, and my mission is to help creatives like you translate what you love to do into a highly profitable income. I'm a mom of 3 who began as a lettering artist and grew it into a 6-figure business. If I made it possible, so can you. Every week, we'll dive deep into topics like building your confidence, getting comfortable talking about money, and nurturing your passion while juggling life and family. So if you're an ambitious creative who wants to craft the life you love, get cozy, feel at home, and listen to the Confident Creator Show.
Hey creators, you're listening to episode number 18. I've just had my coffee for the day before I came into our makeshift studio inside our bedroom. It's actually where we sleep with the kids. Oh yes, that's how small our living space is at the moment. But this sleeping situation is going to end soon. We're all so excited to finally move into our new home in a couple of days. Anyway, as I was preparing my coffee, I realized that for a few months now, I've gotten used to drinking it without sugar and cream. I've been drinking my coffee black. I was so proud of myself, to be honest. I know it's weird to be proud of this one small thing, but I never imagined I could drink coffee without them. You see, coffee with sugar and cream was something I couldn't live without. It's my morning trigger. And if you're wondering what trigger I'm talking about, it's an action that helps you get started on a task. And for me, it was my sweet, creamy cup of coffee that helps me start my day and keep me productive. I must have it on my desk every single morning. But the last couple of months have been a wake-up call for so many of us to take extra care of ourselves. And I've always wanted to have a healthier lifestyle. And I know that diet alone is not sustainable, so it has to be something I can do continuously. So I decided to do one small thing that will help me get close to this goal. And given that I also have hyperacidity, my doctor said I can still drink coffee, but make sure it's decaf. I tell you guys, I'll take decaf than nothing in a heartbeat. So, along with switching to decaf, I also removed cream. I couldn't let go of sugar yet, so I need to ease myself into drinking coffee black without sugar. But over time, that 1 teaspoon of sugar became half a teaspoon. Then a quarter of a teaspoon until I was finally able to tolerate my decaf coffee with no sugar at all. Was that easy? Well, it seemed easy telling you like this, but it wasn't easy at all. There were days when I felt so deprived of cream and sugar that I was mightily tempted to just say, hey, it's only for a day. But I know that if I gave into my craving, I'm going down a slippery slope. I need to maintain my self-discipline because it's something I teach all of my students when it comes to art, work, and business. And if I can practice what I'm teaching, then I'm no good for them. So I had to stick with my resolve not to add sugar and cream because that's a promise I made to myself. And in those instances where I feel tempted, I always tell myself this mantra that I learned from Marie Forleo. She said, to be responsible, keep your promises to others. To be successful, keep your promises to yourself. These words helped me overcome these temptations. So that's why I say I'm proud that I'm drinking sugar-free black coffee for only once a day. And yes, I've also learned to limit my intake to 1 cup per day from 3 cups. I used to drink up to 3 cups a day, you guys. So will you help me celebrate today by sharing this podcast episode to your friends or followers on social media who might also be undergoing a certain challenge or doing something to change an old habit? Let's help our friends. Spread the word that we can do anything if we put our mind to it. And in exchange, I'll give you a shout out on my Instagram stories too, so be sure to tag me at Maida Leon. Deal? Now, it might seem weird for me to be sharing this coffee story with you today. And you're probably wondering, what's going on? Am I listening to the Confident Creator Show or another podcast? But by now, you should have realized that whatever story I share here that might seem inconsequential to you has an important lesson or profound truths that we all could apply to our lives. Because today, we're going to talk about the number one reason why most creative entrepreneurs aren't getting success in their art or business. This is something that I always talk about with my coaching clients. So think about this episode as your free coaching session from me. Cool? All right. So let me ask you some questions. The day you decided that you wanted to get serious about your business, or perhaps your art or goals in life, did you create a plan and try to stick with it? What happened as you ticked off things in your plan? Did it get more challenging and more frustrating? Did it feel like whatever you're doing, you weren't moving the needle and weren't getting anywhere? Here's the thing. Change is hard and difficult. We're all naturally resistant to change, but we also want to get better, be a better version of who we are right now. Trying to change, to overcome challenges is always going to be a battle. It's always going to be hard. And a lot of creatives who want to be entrepreneurs fail because they find this process of changing and taking on the challenges of what it means to be an entrepreneur too messy and too complicated. So they look for shortcuts to try and find success, relying on others to do the work for them, or try to hitch a ride on someone else's coattails. Sure, these quote-unquote tactics might seem to work in the beginning, but what I discovered in my years in the industry is that eventually they fizzle out and are struggling to make an income despite having grown a massive following on social media. And then they tend to blame anything and anyone else for their lack of success, be it the industry, the copycats, the lack of support from their followers, and sometimes even family, forgetting that they were the one that got themselves into that situation with their shortcuts. They were unwilling to help themselves and do the hard, messy work. Now, I know that successful entrepreneurs out there makes it look so easy. You're probably looking at other artists and thinking it wasn't that difficult for them. But believe me, they too did the messy, hard work to get to where they are. When you're trying to grow, it's always going to be difficult. Then it's going to get even messier and messier in the middle until it's no longer messy and it's going to be the best thing. Because you've already adapted to it and it becomes part of your routine. Like me learning to drink sugar-free black coffee. I don't think much about adding cream and sugar now. I just wake up, make my coffee, and get right to work. Your hard work trying to get through the messy middle will be so worth it in the end. In the book The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, he said, "Change is hardest at the beginning, messiest in the middle, and best at the end. Once you get past the plateau, everything is going to be super amazing. And here are 2 reasons why. 1, your actions become automatic. Now, a lot of the work that entrepreneurs do is surprisingly a routine, like checking in on social media to interact with their followers, creating new pieces of work to sell, writing emails to their list, and so on. It's because once they've implemented a change and they do it long enough, it becomes part of their routine, and they don't have to think about it. I remember when I first began writing emails to my list. It was a task I dreaded so much because I'm not much of a writer. Still, I forced myself to sit and write. It wasn't easy, and what made it worse was English is not my mother tongue. It was absolutely challenging. But over time, I got used to it, and I don't see it as something I have to do because it's part of the business. I just did it, and eventually it became easier and more fun. I get to share a lot of stories and inspire my studio insiders. When something becomes part of your routine, the work you do becomes more comfortable and easier until you reach a point of no longer thinking about it. 2, you're definitely going to get results. If you start doing now, you might not see the results right away. I know how this part might make you feel. You're wondering if what you're doing is the right thing and you feel frustrated at the lack of progress. But trust me on this. I've been where you are. You will see the result. It might be small, but over time, these small improvements are going to compound in the long run. It's like what James Clear said in his book, Atomic Habits. A 1% improvement will eventually lead to significant results over time. I have begun this healthier lifestyle goal of mine by switching to sugar-free black coffee. I'm not seeing any results now, but I know doing this one tiny change is going to impact me in the future. You just need to trust the process. Trust yourself and be willing to do the most difficult things now. So, how do we go about trying to overcome the inertia to change and to get past the messy middle that will make you want to give up? Well, the very first thing you need to do is to get clear on what you want to achieve. Ask yourself, what is my end goal? If you don't have an idea of what you want, how else are you going to make the change? How can you stay motivated and keep your focus when things get messy and frustrating? Your goal is what's going to get you started, and your goal is going to get you through the most challenging part of changing. It will motivate you to continue to do what you're doing. One way to motivate yourself is by keeping your eye on the prize. Let's say your goal is to get more followers on Instagram. For you to do that, you need to create more and post every single day. And whenever you find yourself struggling to show up, ask yourself this question. Do I really want to get more followers, or do I want to stay where I'm currently at? I'm pretty sure you know the answer to that question. Of course, you're going to say, I want more followers. So, you'll do the work. The other thing that will help you is to set the bar low. I'm sure this is a scenario familiar to you. You want to get healthier, so you come up with an elaborate plan to change your diet, exercise daily, and sleep early. And then 3 days later, you give up. When you try to do too much, it becomes overwhelming. Your brain tends to go into a flight mode when you push yourself out of your comfort zone. And it sends all sorts of signals to you to give up, to not do all of these scary new changes you're trying to make. I'm going to go back to my coffee story again. My end goal is to have a healthier lifestyle. It's such a broad goal, and I can approach it from changing my diet to adopting a new exercise routine. And I know that if I started with those 2 things, the higher the chance I might end up giving halfway. But what if I set the bar low and begin with changing my coffee? It's doable, and it will help me get started. I know eventually I'll be working my way up to do more things that will help me reach my end goal. So, set the bar low as you work through the plans you make to reach your goals. Like I said earlier, these small improvements will eventually get you results in the long run. And before I end this episode, I just want to say that all your plans to reach your goal are work you need to do yourself. I can only share with you my knowledge and experience, which will help make you see past the mess, but it's your work that will help you get through it. If you're not ready to help yourself, then no one else can help you. Thank you once again for listening to this episode. I hope that this has inspired you to get started in your plans and help motivate you to continue the work you're doing for your creative business. Share with me where you are right now, where you want to be, and what you are going to do to help you get through the messy middle. I'll be waiting for your tags on Instagram, again at Mydeleon, Myedeleon. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review on iTunes. I read every single one of them, and it helps us get motivated to create more juicy episodes for you. And as always, keep creating and stay confident. Until next time, this is Maya.